back again with another YouTube video. It's your boy Riot G. Today we're gonna react to 10 WWE wrestlers who went from stars to jobbers. Let's get right into the video. We're gonna react to 10 WWE wrestlers who went from stars to jobbers. Now let's get right into the video. We're gonna react to that.
Bet $5 and get.
Here we go with the advertisements. Every time, but we don't care. We're gonna get to the video. We're on mute right now, so you know, until the video starts. No thanks.
Storylines. Involved in storylines, booked on pay-per-views, winning championships. When you're a big-time WWE star, life sure does seem good, doesn't it? Unfortunately, nothing lasts forever, and even those who are pushed to the moon and paid handsomely for it don't stay on top forever. Because at a certain point, those that once flew high may well be asked to lay down a lot for other stars the company are trying to build. I'm Sam Driver from Cultaholic Wrestling, and these are 10 WWE wrestlers who went from stars to jobbers. Join us! Number 10, Matt Hardy. A former hardcore European Cruiserweight United States ECW and multi-time tag team champion, Matt Hardy had a tremendous first run in WWE. To be honest, Matt, alongside brother Jeff, essentially cemented themselves as bona fide legends due to the moments they made and the classic matches they were involved in that first time around. Matt was released by WWE in 2010 and later made his surprise return with Jeff at WrestleMania 33, where they received an almighty pop ahead of winning yet another pair of double straps. The Hardys were treated as the stars they were, and Matt was
This is the obsolete Matt Hardy, the broken Matt Hardy. It's like it's like they took the TNA gimmicks and brought it to WWE. Cause you remember Jeff Hardy, he was Willow. He was losing a lot of matches as Willow. If you guys watch TNA when Jeff Hardy switched his gimmick to Willow with the umbrella. But let's get to the video.
Permitted to bring his broken character into the mix, which led to another tag title reign with Bray Wyatt before the Hardy Boys bagged the SmackDown tag belts. When Jeff went down with an injury and they were forced to vacate, it became apparent that WWE didn't see any value in pushing Matt as a solo act. Quick losses on television to Buddy Murphy, Drew McIntyre, and Eric Rowan told Matt where he was in the pecking order before he was written off by Randy Orton. Hardy opted to leave the company and join AEW rather than continue to do jobs ahead of transitioning into a backstage producer role. Number 9, Taz. In ECW, Taz was the guy. The human suplex machine was expertly booked and well protected by Paul Heyman, and Taz became a big orange.
I definitely can agree. I didn't grow up watching Taz, but he has the physique. The physique, you know, good in ring, you know, submission specialist. I think that's his finisher, the submission move he does. He's definitely a submission specialist, right? He's put on great matches with different, you know, wrestlers. I'm pretty sure he's, you know, fought top wrestlers at one point. Top superstars at that. What else? Taz, he was on commentary at one point. So yeah.
And black fish in a small pond. He left the Philadelphia-based promotion at the end of 1999 and then made his WWE debut at the 2000 Royal Rumble, where he emerged as the surprise opponent of Kurt Angle. A monster pop and victory over the Olympic gold medalist suggested that Taz, now with 2 Z's, could be a star for WWE too, despite him being shorter than the company preferred and favoring a style that wasn't exactly conducive to the intense WWE schedule. Taz's first 18 months in WWE were, it's fair to say, a mixed bag, as he settled into a mid-card utility role. But as 2001 wore on, it was obvious that WWE had no intention of featuring the Tough Enough trainer as anything more than a guy who could be used to put other stars over, which Taz invariably did in matches that rarely exceeded a 2-minute duration. With his heart no longer in it and his body hurting from years of ring wars, the man from Red Hook, Brooklyn quietly retired and became a broadcaster.
Comment down if you guys enjoy Taz. Like I said, I didn't grow up watching him much, but I do know, he was commentating at one point. I think he was part of Aces and Eights too, in TNA. So yeah.
Number 8, The Great Khali. Considering the walking, hobbling punchline he later became, it's sometimes difficult to remember just how dominant the Great Khali was when he made his WWE debut in 2006. After all, this was the man who completely flattened The Undertaker, pinning the dead man with one foot on his chest during their Judgment Day
And
encounter.
this must have been around the time when they were pushing the Great Khali. You remember, he was World Heavyweight Champion. He beat Batista in that 30-man Royal Rumble. Was it 30-man, 20-man, something like that?
The freakish Khali continued to be positioned as a threat, and even when the SmackDown roster was super thin in the summer of '07, won the World Heavyweight Championship. Dark times indeed, folks. Dark times indeed. Never a great or particularly mobile worker to begin with, when the Punjabi Playboy's skills and body eroded further and the novelty of seeing the 7-footer had long since worn off, Khali became a comedy character.
Yup. What? 2012, 2011, something like that. 2012-ish, I can say. His last years in the company, for real, if you think about it, around that time, yeah, he was they were burying him. He wasn't winning a lot of matches. He lost to Cody Rhodes around that time, like when Cody Rhodes wasn't, like technically still mid-card, I guess you can say. He lost to, was it? I'm pretty sure he lost to Kane. I think they 1v1 around this time or years before. I'm pretty sure he wrestled Big Show, right? Big Show beat him. The Great Khali was a face. He was a good guy around this time. Let's see. Big Show. Kane. Who else did he wrestle? Yeah, y'all just tell me, because I'm not going to name everybody. Oh, yeah, Mark Henry. I think he wrestled Mark Henry, too, and he lost. So he was really losing to everybody. I think he wrestled Dolph Ziggler. Lost to him, too.
Whatever name value he had was used to give the rub to those on the up, such as Rusev, who crushed Khali in the Giants' last 2 televised appearances. Credit to Khali, who had a long Hall of Fame run despite his glaring limitations, but it was clear that the horse needed to be taken round the back of the barn toward the end. Metaphorically speaking, of course. I'm not saying they should have murdered the Great Khali. The lawyers have warned me about that. Number 7, Jinder Mahal. Unlike his one-time tag partner, Jinder Mahal didn't show up on WWE television as some dominant force. Jinder's booking was rather all over the place, truth be told. He got a half-hearted push out of the gate, but WWE got bored quickly and he drifted before he found Heath Slater and Drew McIntyre, who formed 3MB. The trio tried working with whatever they were given, but were scarcely given much to work with, and McIntyre and Mahal were both released on the same day. Both men went away, reflected, and endeavored to improve, which eventually got them re-signed by the...
They left. They got released or whatever. Worked on. I'm pretty sure what they did was they worked out. The company probably looked at them like, we're going to get rid of them because we're not doing much with them. I don't think we can build them up to be a star. So they let them go. What they did was they went to the gym and they worked out, worked on their health, like to get stronger. Probably drank a lot of protein shakes too. I don't know. So pretty much they worked out in the gym probably, and they worked on their physique. They wanted to make sure their physique looked fit for the company.
Jinder didn't do too much initially, but after getting jacked beyond all belief, the modern-day Maharaja found himself the recipient of an unexpected push that led to an even more unexpected WWE title win. Mahal held the title for a while, but once he lost it, the only way was down. For the last few years of his WWE career, Jinder was more often than not hindered, and if he appeared on television at all, he usually found himself staring at the ceiling.
Election day is...
Well, I'm gonna say this: his title reign isn't that bad. You guys should tell me. You guys tell me. Do you guys think his reign was bad?
Number 6, Carlito. After his impending arrival was hyped up via weeks of introductory vignettes, Carlito Caribbean Cool made a statement by beating John Cena to win the United States title.
See, Carlito was pushed at this point in time. Like, he was still a mid-card wrestler, but he was never world champion, WWE champion. He was never, the top. But he was still a good wrestler, good gimmick. I mean, he won the U.S. title. I mean, that's a good title. Still a mid-card championship, but he beat John Cena, right? He beat him. So yeah, think about it. John Cena is one of the biggest wrestlers in the company ever. So Carlito beating him, whether he cheated or not, because I'm pretty sure he did. Carlito was a heel. Carlito was a bad guy, right? Carlito, I think the way he won this match, right? I think he hit John Cena in the face with the chain, and that knocked him out. No, I think it was either a chain or brass knuckles. It was one of them.
In his televised debut match. An early injury halted his momentum, but WWE clearly saw big things in the second-generation star's future, as evidenced by having him get involved in Piper's Pit with Steve Austin at WrestleMania 21 before he was given his own Carlito's Cabana segment. He won the Intercontinental title in his Raw debut and would later hold the tag straps with Primo.
Yeah, he won IC title also. I didn't know too much about that, but I did know he won US. And yeah, he won unified tag titles with Primo.
But Carlito never truly threatened to break through the glass ceiling amid reports that management were unhappy with his motivation, attitude, and effort. Carlito himself was consistently unhappy with his lot, including toward the end of his first WWE run, where he primarily wrestled on superstars, and if he did get booked for Raw, it was inevitably to do a favor for someone the company had plans for.
What do y'all enjoy more, WWE superstars or WWE main event?
When Carlito returned for another run in 2023, his window to be a main player had long since shut, and he gladly took a spot as a member of the Judgment Day. Number 5, Val Venus. Having completely undone any goodwill he might have had with fans after becoming one of those nutters that you read about, it's not like anyone's chomping at the bit to sing the praises of Val Venus these days. But sometimes you have to give credit where credit is due, and we have to admit that the Big Valboski was a big star during the Attitude Era. And really, it was only during the Attitude Era that the adult entertainer could have been a big star due to the controversial the Intercontinental and European titles. Even when outside forces resulted in WWE toning down or otherwise canning the gimmick entirely, Val had a spot and was pushed as both a member of the Right to Censor and in a title-holding team with Lance Storm. But at some point, whether it was due to injuries or lack of interest from the creative team, Venus became a hell...
Yeah, an injury can change the whole script and your whole character. Then they gotta revamp you and rebrand you and change your gimmick or something.
...of a hand, and eventually a veteran who had enough of a rep that it meant something when he was squashed. Couldn't happen to a nicer guy. Number 4, Scott Steiner. Much was made of WWE signing Scott Steiner in late 2002. Big Papa Pump had been one of the rare highlights during the dying days of WCW, his hair-trigger temper and penchant to go off script adding an air of genuine unpredictability to programming. Immediately thrown into the main event mix, Steiner was programmed with World Heavyweight Champion Triple H and clashed with the game at back-to-back pay-per-views. Unfortunately, the genetic freak and cerebral assassin had 2 absolute stinkers, with the blame pinned squarely on Scott's massive shoulders, because heaven forbid Helmsley be culpable for something that went tits up. Truth is, Steiner had been far from 100% physically and was struggling with various debilitating injuries, including drop foot syndrome. WWE attempted to salvage things since they were paying the big bad booty daddy big bad booty money, and he spent most of '03 teaming, feuding, and then teaming again with Test. Toward the end of his stay, decision makers evidently didn't think there was anything left in the former WCW champion's tank, and his main function was to put other people over until WWE decided to let him sit out the rest of his contract. Number 3, Jack Swagger.
Bro, Jack Swagger was actually a good wrestler, man. Like, they didn't see really much in Jack Swagger. At first they did, because he won Money in the Bank. He cashed in on Chris Jericho. Chris Jericho was injured, but it's, you know, that's what a heel would usually do. If a person's injured, you know, that's the best moment to cash in your briefcase, because you have, you have the opportunity, they're hurt, and you can win the match. So yeah, Jack Swagger, they pushed him at one point. He won plenty of titles, US title, but that's when they started, not doing much with him.
Amateur standout Jack Swagger's WWE career was one of steady progression, at least initially. He started out on the ECW roster and climbed the ladder on the third brand before winning the ECW title. He then moved over to Raw and was in the US title scene when at WrestleMania 26,
then when he was with Zeb Coulter, they kind of pushed him a little bit, but he didn't win at WrestleMania for the world champion. So back in like I said, he was with Zeb Coulter, so yeah.
Americans somewhat surprisingly won the Money in the Bank ladder match. Even more surprising was when, on the next episode of SmackDown, he cashed in on Chris Jericho to become the World Heavyweight Champion. Swagger wasn't exactly cut out to be the top guy on the blue brand, and his reign wasn't long, but he remained in the mix as someone who could be heated up and put anywhere on the card, including in a World Heavyweight title match with Alberto Del Rio at WrestleMania 29.
Yeah, and like I said, against Alberto, but he didn't win it. But that was the last time he got pushed before that was, he was gone.
Christ, what a world title match that is to put on at Mania. Anyway, that was really the last time Swagger felt viable as anything approaching a top title challenger, and he very much got lost in the shuffle in the years that followed, reduced to doing quick jobs for the likes of Baron Corbin, Jinder Mahal, and Rusev on his way out the door. Number 2, Dolph Ziggler. Dolph Ziggler's propensity to work very hard and be
Dolph Ziggler, he was world champion, IC title, US title, tag title. I mean, he's won mostly all belts. So, but, let down later on in his career. He's doing much better where he is now in the company he's a part of. But, yeah.
Adaptable to any situation led to him having a WWE career longer than most could wish for. Having survived go-nowhere gimmicks like being Kerwin White's caddy and a member of the Spirit Squad, the show-off grew in confidence over the years and established himself as one of the most dependable workers on the roster, capable of having a good match with just about anyone. Fans saw how hard Dolph worked, and his popularity increased to the point that WWE booked him to cash in his Money in the Bank contract and beat Alberto Del Rio to win.
Yeah, man, the day after he beat, Jack Swagger, Alberto Del Rio was still injured. Well, no, I'm guessing he was already injured, so, Jack Swagger and Alberto had their match again the next night. And he was going after his knee. Dolph Ziggler, figured out, Alberto's knee was hurting. So he worked upon that, and Dolph Ziggler cashed in on Alberto on Raw.
The World Heavyweight title. Ziggler's reign with the gold would be sadly short-lived owing to concussion issues, but after that he was still figured in and had various runs as IC, US, NXT, and Tag Team Champ. Taking into account his veteran status and ability to sell and get others over in matches, it wasn't exactly a surprise to see Dolph get handily beaten by Mustafa Ali, Omos, and Gunter, and destroyed by a debuting JD McDonough in his last handful of Raw appearances prior to his release.
He got destroyed by JD McDonough.
And number 1, Mark Henry. It might have taken a while, but Mark Henry finally.
Yeah, Mark Henry, world champion. He was pushed at Hall of Pain time during that time, yeah.
Fulfilled his potential in WWE. The world's strongest man was deemed to have so much upside that the promotion signed him to a 10-year multi-million-dollar deal in 1996. But injuries, stop-start pushes, and some frankly awful creative meant that Henry yo-yoed up and down the card, while struggling to find the consistency that would make him a main event player. That all changed in 2011, when Henry got serious and started inducting people into his Hall of Pain en route to winning the World Heavyweight title. But when that run was over, it really felt like it was over for Henry, despite some occasional high points, such as his fake retirement speech and program with John Cena,
This retirement felt really real, but it wasn't.
reminding fans what the big man was all about. Having been on WWE television for around
Alright, that was 10 WWE wrestlers who went from stars to jobbers. Tell me what you guys want to see next in the comments down below. I got more videos coming, stay tuned, and yeah, Uriah out.